What you're about to listen to is a secretly recorded phone call played out in a courtroom. The phone call is between Matthew Restelli's mother and his mother-in-law, who has just informed his mother that he has died.
I'd like to play what is marked as State's Exhibit 34.
Any objection, Mr. Facebar?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay, can I stop it there for a second? Is this the first phone call that you recorded?
It could very well be. I didn't really hear all the words, but it seems to be.
Okay, we can play it through some more.
She probably won't answer the phone now. All right, Tracy, you have to tell me.
Okay, push pause. Is this one of the phone calls you recorded?
Yes,
Do you recall which one it was?
I think it was the one on that Saturday.
The first one?
Yes.
Okay. State would move to admit and publish to the jury, Your Honor.
Any objection to admitting and publishing?
State's Exhibit 34.
So ordered, thank you.
How are you handling this? What's going on?
You're kind to ask. I'm not handling it well at all. I'm freaking out and I don't know what to do. I'm in a hotel because I can't go to the house right now.
Okay, and what is there a police report?
I have no idea.
Okay, did anybody, what, you have no idea? How,
Tracy, this is Mark. I'm here with my mom. Can you tell us from the beginning what you know?
Yes. So, let's see. Matt was on his way to the house, to my house, because Katie and the kids are here. And they were Kate was undetermined whether she was going to talk for a little while, go right away back to California. It was not abundantly clear what the outcome was going to be of Matt coming out and talking. So about 10 o'clock last night, he got to the house. I was in the kitchen and I was sitting on the counter. I was alone in the kitchen and I did not hear the doorbell ring. I didn't hear a door knock. And Matt was in my dining room. And I knew he was due to come over to my house, but I didn't expect to look up and see him there. He was really, really mad and very agitated, for lack of a better term, and you're fine. I stayed in the kitchen. I said, Kate's upstairs, but she's going to come downstairs. And I stayed in the corner of my kitchen because I was feeling uncomfortable at that moment. I was very thrown off that he was inside the house and I didn't know it. And then he went around the corner and then I heard gunshots. I don't know how many, four, I think.
Jesus.
And Matt was on the ground and he had a knife in his hand. And we called 911. And I told Katie to stay upstairs while I called 911 because I didn't want her to see it. And I wanted her to stay upstairs with the kids. They were sleeping though, and I didn't know they were sleeping. And the police came and separated us, talked to us, and I not slept for 1 second. So that's why I'm really upset, and I'm in a combination of shock and sadness, and so my son Kevin was taken to jail after 6 or 7 hours, and I don't know what's going to happen.
Did
That's
with before the gunshots, did you hear an altercation? Did you hear
no,
screaming? Nothing. Just
no. I don't. If there was noise, I didn't hear it or I don't remember it.
when you saw Matt with the knife like, or in his hand.
I personally did not see him walking with the knife. I saw him on the ground.
Was it like
Immediately after.
like a pocket knife? Was it like a
It was like,
kitchen knife?
oh golly, like it.
Like Matt doesn't
Somebody-
carry a knife typically.
Okay, well, I don't.
I'm just wondering. I'm trying to put this together. This is mind blowing.
Yes, I agree. It was. I can't think of the way to describe it. It's like a tactical knife.
Did what? So the kids never woke up. The kids are still what with Kate? Where?
There was me and Katie in a hotel room,
Okay.
and she was just trying to Google how to tell children because she hasn't told them, but she wants to be able to do it in the healthiest way, and I don't know how to do it.
I don't know how to do it either. I guess my only suggestion would be to take a minute while everybody's emotional. But so do you know what where they took Matt?
I do not know.
I'm assuming the so you said they took Kevin to jail.
Yes.
I'm guessing that the house is a crime scene at the moment.
Yes.
What's the address and what's the law enforcement agency that was there that we can call to find out where Matt is?
American Fork Police Department. Mark.
Yeah.
Mark.
Yes.
I'm really sorry for your loss. Genuinely sorry for your loss.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. This is
You know, I'm just saying it.
what's the house number?
114 South, 920 East, American Fork, Utah.
Now, was there any? I mean, I know Matt probably. I mean, driving out to Utah, probably not the happiest. But was there an altercation on the phone before this? Like, was there?
I personally have no idea. I was at work all day yesterday, and I have no idea.
I know I spoke to Matt about 7:20 that night. He said he was 2 hours out from Utah, and he was excited to be able to pick up his family and children. And I know I left a message a little after 10, that he arrive. So I know I had a conversation with him, and he was very calm, wanting to bring his family back.
Yeah. I don't know what to say to that either. I don't know what to say. I didn't see anything myself. I saw zero. I stayed in the kitchen because I was feeling uneasy, and my reaction usually is I freeze. If there's some
Did
emergency.
you know that your son Kevin had a gun in the house?
It's my gun, and it was in a gun safe, and I moved it from my bedroom to the garage,
to the garage in a gun safe, or
Yes, in a gun safe, yes.
And your son Kevin knew where the gun was?
Yes, he moved it for me because I wanted to make sure it was really high up. Because there was children in the house, and even though it's in a gun safe with a code, I just wanted it high up.
was there a reason for the gun to be out of the safe, like
The gun
prior to Matt's arrival, or was it like, did it come out of the
I don't
safe
know-
when
I
you
don't
got
know
there?
when.
Was it a scramble and race for it? Like what?
I do not know.
Yeah.
All right. I guess if there's any more information that you can share with us, later, please do.
Of course.
I am still in major shock, and I'm hurt to the core because I know how much he protected Kate through all of this. He never spoke poorly of Kate. Never.
Imagine driving across state lines to pick up your wife and children, believing your marriage might finally be repaired. You pull up outside your mother-in-law's house. The front door is unlocked. You walk inside, and within seconds, gunshots ring out. At first, police are told it was self-defense. A dangerous intruder had entered the home holding a knife, but investigators quickly began to suspect something far darker. Because the so-called intruder was actually expected, and according to prosecutors, the entire scene had been carefully planned in advance by his own wife, his brother-in-law, and the family matriarch at the center of it all. This is the disturbing case of Tracy Grist. The case began in July 2024 in American Fork, Utah. The victim was Matthew Restelli, a father and husband who had reportedly been struggling through a rocky marriage with his wife, Catherine Restelli. By this point, Catherine had taken the couple's children and traveled from California to stay with her family in Utah. Matthew remained in California. According to court testimony later revealed during the investigation, the marriage had become strained for quite some time. Catherine allegedly complained to family members about the relationship and explored ways she could separate from Matthew while keeping the children in Utah. But despite the problems, Matthew still appeared to believe the marriage could potentially be saved, and that belief would ultimately place him directly into what prosecutors later described as a carefully orchestrated trap. According to investigators, Catherine contacted Matthew and convinced him to come to Utah. She reportedly told him they could reconcile. She told him to come pick her and the children up, and most importantly, she allegedly told him he could simply walk into the house once he arrived. That detail would become incredibly important later, because when Matthew finally reached the home on July 12, 2024, investigators say the family was already waiting. That night, Matthew arrived outside Tracy Grist's home. Inside the house were Catherine Restelli, her brother Kevin Ellis, and her mother Tracy Grist. According to the family's original story, Matthew entered aggressively while holding a knife. Kevin Ellis then claimed he opened fire in self-defense. Police responding to the scene found Matthew dead inside the house. He had been shot multiple times. At first glance, it looked like a possible home invasion gone wrong. But almost immediately, detectives noticed things that didn't add up. One of the biggest red flags involved the knife, supposedly held by Matthew. Investigators reportedly noticed the knife appeared oddly positioned in his hand. Even more suspiciously, Matthew was left-handed, but the knife had allegedly been placed in his right hand. Authorities also questioned the timing of events. According to reports, a neighbor had already called police before Tracy Grist herself dialed 911 from inside the home, and then investigators uncovered something even more troubling. Evidence allegedly suggested this wasn't a spontaneous act of self-defense at all. Instead, prosecutors believed Matthew had been intentionally lured to the house so he could be killed. As detectives dug deeper into phones, text messages, and digital evidence, the story became increasingly disturbing. Investigators claimed Catherine Restelli had been communicating with Matthew throughout his drive to Utah. Police also alleged she used a tracking device to monitor his truck and track exactly when he would arrive at the house. According to court records, prosecutors believed the family wanted to stage the killing as self-defense. The alleged plan was simple. Matthew would be invited into the house. The family would later claim he entered aggressively and without permission. Then Kevin Ellis could shoot him while claiming everyone inside was in danger, but detectives believed the scene had been staged poorly, and the evidence started piling up. Investigators claimed preparations had allegedly been made inside the house before Matthew ever arrived. One report even alleged furniture had been covered beforehand to avoid bloodstains. Prosecutors later described Tracy Grist as the central organizer. In court, one prosecutor called her mission control for the conspiracy. According to the state, Tracy wasn't simply present during the killing. They believed she actively helped orchestrate the entire plan. Soon, arrests followed. Tracy Grist, Catherine Restelli, and Kevin Ellis were all charged. The charges included murder, conspiracy to commit murder, obstruction of justice, and domestic violence charges connected to the children being present during the events. The case quickly drew attention online because of how unbelievable the allegations sounded. A mother, daughter, and son accused of working together to lure a family member into a deadly ambush. It felt more like a movie plot than real life. But the case was only becoming more shocking. One of the reasons the case fascinated so many people online was the bizarre family dynamic at the center of it. According to testimony, Catherine's relationship with Matthew had become increasingly unstable. But investigators believed her family became deeply involved in the conflict. Instead of encouraging separation or divorce, prosecutors argued the family allegedly moved toward murder. During court proceedings, evidence reportedly showed Catherine had previously spoken with a divorce attorney. Investigators also examined messages and online searches connected to leaving the marriage. But according to prosecutors, somewhere along the way, the alleged discussions escalated into planning violence. The state portrayed Tracy Grist as the dominant influence inside the family, and during the later court proceedings, prosecutors repeatedly described her as the mastermind. Meanwhile, Kevin Ellis would become the person accused of physically carrying out the shooting. According to reports, he shot Matthew multiple times shortly after he entered the home. The family initially stuck to the self-defense narrative, but investigators increasingly believed the evidence contradicted their version of events, and then came one of the biggest developments in the entire case. In 2025, Catherine Restelli reached a plea agreement, and that changed everything. Catherine pleaded guilty to charges connected to the murder. According to reports surrounding the plea, she admitted that Matthew had been lured to the home under false pretenses. The guilty plea gave prosecutors a major advantage, because now they had an insider willing to testify about the alleged conspiracy. During later proceedings, Catherine reportedly testified that she had at one point wanted to back out of the plan. But according to court testimony, Tracy Grist allegedly responded by saying, "I'm doing it anyway." That statement became one of the most damaging moments in the entire case. It reinforced the prosecution's argument that Tracy was driving the conspiracy from the beginning. Meanwhile, Matthew's family described the devastating emotional impact of what happened. Matthew's mother reportedly said she learned about her son's death during a brief and shocking phone call. The idea that he may have been lured to his death by people he trusted made the case even more disturbing. And by the time the trials approached, public interest in the story had exploded among true crime audiences online. Tracy Grist's trial eventually began in 2026. Prosecutors painted a chilling picture for the jury. They argued this was never self-defense. Instead, they claimed the family deliberately created a fake scenario to justify killing Matthew. The prosecution described the house as a hive of activity before the shooting. Phone records, digital evidence, witness testimony, and Catherine's cooperation all became major pieces of the state's case. Jurors heard allegations about tracking Matthew's movements. They heard about the staged knife. And they heard claims that preparations had been made inside the house before Matthew ever arrived. Tracy Grist took the stand in her own defense. She denied being part of any murder conspiracy. According to reports from the courtroom, she attempted to distance herself from the planning and denied orchestrating the killing. At one point, recordings and interviews shown during the proceedings highlighted inconsistencies in the family's earlier statements. The defense argued prosecutors were building a dramatic narrative out of assumptions. They claimed the state's theory was exaggerated and unrealistic. But prosecutors insisted the evidence showed coordination between all three family members. After deliberating for several hours, the jury reached a verdict. Tracy Grist was found guilty. She was convicted of murder, conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and additional related charges. For prosecutors, it validated their theory that the killing had been carefully planned. For many people watching the case online, the verdict felt inevitable. The alleged staging of the scene, the guilty plea from Catherine, and the family communications created a picture jurors apparently found convincing. The Tracy Grist case stood out for several reasons. First, there was the sheer betrayal involved. Matthew Restelli allegedly traveled believing he was rebuilding his family. Instead, prosecutors say he walked into an ambush. Second, the family element made the story especially disturbing. Cases involving entire families allegedly participating in murder plots always attract intense attention because they feel so psychologically strange. And third, many people were fascinated by how quickly investigators appeared to unravel the alleged self-defense story. According to authorities, small details ended up exposing major problems. The knife placement, the phone records, the tracking device, the preparation inside the home. Each detail slowly chipped away at the family's original version of events. The case also became heavily followed by viewers on court TV and true crime livestream channels. Many compared it to other family conspiracy murder cases, where a victim was allegedly lured into a trap by people closest to them. Today, the Tracy Grist case remains one of the most disturbing alleged family murder conspiracies in recent years. At the center of it all is the haunting idea that Matthew Restelli may never have realized he was in danger. He wasn't walking into a stranger's house. He was walking into the home of his own family. And according to prosecutors, the people waiting inside had already decided he wasn't leaving alive. As always, cases like this leave behind far more questions than answers. How does a family allegedly move from marital conflict to murder? At what point do anger and resentment turn into planning violence? And most chilling of all, if investigators are correct, how close did the family come to getting away with it? Because if the scene had looked just a little more convincing, this case may have been written off as self-defense from the very beginning. But this time, detectives kept digging, and according to the verdict, what they uncovered was a deadly family conspiracy hidden behind a staged crime scene. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more true crime cases and courtroom stories, and let me know in the comments what part of this case shocked you the most.